Hello, friends of quality information. Welcome to another episode of Enhancing Lace Content in Wikipedia. This is a series of introductory videos to encourage people to begin editing Wikipedia in support of improving access to quality information, legitimate and relevant texts and resources, and helping people who are curious about lace and textile history topics to connect with the lace community. My name is Mary Mangan, and I'm a member of the New England Lace Group in the U.S. This work is part of a grant project funded by the Wikimedia Foundation. You can learn more about the project from the lacecouvige.com website, where additional videos, blog posts, and details can be explored. For an overview of the wider project, you can watch the overview video in the playlist as well. In this video, we'll complete two tasks: adding a text-based sentence of information to an existing page, and adding the citation for that item. We will focus on the Lefkara lace page that we added an image to in a previous recording. This time, we'll add the reference book used to create that lace so that others can know about the existence of that book and the information they need to locate a copy. Today I'm going to illustrate how I would typically add a sentence of information and a reference to go with that to a typical lace page in Wikipedia. I'm going to be using the Lefkara lace page as an example. That's the one that I just recently added the image to enhance the views of the lace on that page. But now I'm going to add a reference as well. My colleague from Sunday Lace brought the book that she used to make that piece of lace with her, so I was able to obtain information about that book that I can now add to Wikipedia as well. So what I'm going to do is show you again how to get to the Lefkara lace page. Lefkara lace page. From the Wikipedia homepage, I will click Lefkara lace to go there. This is the page that you might remember from the video where we added an image. This is the lovely close-up image that I've added so people can get a closer look at Lefkara lace. The page does already have some images, has some references, bibliography information here, a couple of these books, but I have the book in English that might be useful to readers of English Wikipedia. So let me show you how I would typically add that kind of information to a page. First, of course, we have to log in. I will log in as Lace Demo 1 as before. And so now I will have access to the editing tools on this page. And this includes the visual editor, which would make the page look pretty much like it does now, and I could just insert text here, or I could edit the source if I chose to do that. In this case, I'm going to add a sentence, and I would like to see how it looks on the page as we edit through, so I will use the visual editor, but there are other times you might choose the edit source page. So let's look through the Lefkara lace page and see what would be a good place to add this information. So one of the things I would like to do is include a sentence in here so people will know which book I'm referring to with some information about it. And so what I'm going to do is in this materials and techniques area, I'm going to choose to edit. I have to click edit first. And now I have the editing tools available for me here. So now I can scroll down to this materials and technique area, and I decide that there should be a sentence afterwards here. And my sentence will be something like, contemporary lacemakers can produce Lefkara lace with guidance from books of historical information and patterns. And so what I expect is that a contemporary lacemaker would want to know how to make these kinds of patterns, find a good reference for that kind of thing, and that's what I'm adding right here. So the way I would do this is I would put a sentence in somewhere suitable. Might be the introduction, might be the history section, depends on the kind of information you're going to add to a page. But here I'm putting it in materials and technique because people would presumably look for the technique for this. So what I will do here, though, is in addition to this sentence, I will want to insert a reference. If I click the quotation marks here, the first thing that I'll be offered is this citation dialog box. It says, citations, Content must be verifiable through citations to reliable sources. You can cite from books, newspapers, and websites. I will click OK, got it. You might not see this in the future, but it's a way to emphasize that you should be using reliable sources and not just something you saw on a social media site, for example, or something that you heard from another lacemaker. Like, that's not the kind of citation that they're looking for. They're looking for verifiable source, like a book. So that's what we're going to put in here today. So I'm going to click OK, got it. And here it offers me the place where my cursor was to add a citation. And there's a couple of ways you can do this. You can add it manually. So if you have a book, maybe it's a book from the 1800s and doesn't have a typical ISBN number, you might choose the manual way to do this. You would click book and you could enter the author, you could enter the title, you could enter the publication date, and all kinds of things on that page. I'm going to choose automatic though, because the book that I have to enter has an ISBN number, and I hope that ISBN number will pull up the correct information. If it doesn't, and sometimes it doesn't, I will have to re-add it manually anyway, but let's see if this ISBN number will pull it up. So I know from taking a photograph of the book that my lacemaker friend had that the ISBN number is 9963764312. So let's see if that comes up with something. I will click Create here. Hopefully it finds this in the databases. Oh, and here it is. And this says Andrula F. Carlace Embroidery, Historical Development Designs. It's not exactly the reference number that I had. I had 1-2. It's possible that the reference that we have here was actually the original Greek version of it, and the book that I have is in English, so maybe it's an earlier version. Now, I could choose to insert that, but I'm not going to because of the distinct difference in the information that I have. So I'm going to now try to do it manually. I will click the reference that says book. The information that I have about this book differs from that other ISBN number that we had, so I'm going to enter what I have according to the book that I saw. And that is a last name of the author that is Hadjiyiacmi. First name Androula. Title. Let me come back to the title in a minute because it's on the other page. Date. I have that as 1987. Publisher by Philip. Oops. Publisher. Fifties and Son. Ltd. (1987). Oops, this is where I need to put the date of publication. ISBN. And again, I'm going to put the ISBN number that I had, which differs from that other one. 9963764312. Because if someone is looking for this English version of this book, this is how they would find it. Location of publication is Cyprus. Also need to add translator's last name and the translator's first name because that's the information that I have in this book. Translator's last name is Economidou. And translator's first name is Janet. And so if someone's looking for this specific version of this book, I hope this gives them the information to find it. So let me go back to the title. Okay. I need to go back to the book title, which says Lefkara Lace Embroidery. And I think that's all the information I want to add. Now, there's other things you can add. If, for example, the book is on a website, you can click a URL to add that kind of information. If there's multiple authors, you can add additional information about that as well. If there's other important information that would help someone locate this book, you can add that kind of thing here. I'm not going to add additional information for now, but there's a lot more information you could add. But let me just close this by clicking the insert. And so now this is what I have for the book that I've got in my hand from my lace making friend. So that's done. I could continue to edit from here. I could click the edit button again, fix anything that was wrong if I needed to do that, but I won't. I will just simply get rid of that. Now, we aren't completely finished because remember we have to click the publish button to make sure this appears on the page. Now right now, we have the other version, what I think is the other version of this book, maybe in the original Greek. We have that here, but I'm going to add the one that I know was in English based on the information I had. So I will click publish. I will say added English version of book. So later on, when someone's looking through the history, they'll know what I did to make this change. Click publish changes. And now my sentence is now publicly available on the page. My edit was published. My sentence is here. The reference is here. And so if someone was looking for this book, they would now be able to find this book that's got a version in translation with this ISBN number as well. So hopefully, if you were trying to create Lefkara lace later, you would be able to do so. So that's how I add a bit of information to a page, a reference, which might be possible to add automatically if you have an ISBN number that works, but sometimes you have to go in and manually do it. All of this is not heavy lifting. It's just a few things you'll have to type into a page if you have to add the extra information manually. And sometimes, honestly, there's a bunch of lace books that I have added over the years that have been slightly obscure. Some of them are older. They don't have ISBN numbers, so I do have to go in and manually add them sometimes. Sometimes the self-published books that we might find in our community don't have that full range of information too, and so I try to add those that way as well. But they're out there, so someone might be able to find them, might be able to find them secondhand, and I hope to give people enough information to do that. So that's how I would edit a page to include new information and new books, and we can do that and help out our lace community. We can help out our lace authors and our designers as well. I hope that you saw it takes just a few minutes to improve a lace page with some new information, quality citations, and lace makers around the world will know that a certain book exists and can try to locate that. Let's help the lace community to find quality resources on topics of interest to them. I hope you'll join us at Lace Cuvige to participate. Thanks for your help and knowledge.